Greetings petrolheads, welcome back to Automation, and today we're gonna go a little bit deeper into what makes a muscle car in this game. So I've designed a modern muscle car here with the body shell that you get in the workshop, and the most important part about tuning a muscle car for this game is that it's one, it's a rear drive, two, it has a big engine, and three, you tune the suspension to a lot of sportiness. So that makes a muscle car in this game, just in a nutshell. But as far as chassis goes, you can obviously go for aluminum, which has good stiffness, a low weight, but also it, realistically speaking, I think most muscle cars today, unless it's like a top-end a version like the Mustang Boss 302 or the Camaro ZL1 or so, unless it's one of those, I think they're still made of steel. The high-end versions are probably from aluminum, or a combination of materials including aluminum. So as far as suspension goes, like, I don't think they have multi-link rear suspension, but it makes for the best bonus, so I'm gonna choose it here. And this is an AMW car after all, so I can do whatever I want here. Panel material is probably aluminum or steel. You could also go for polymer, which is just as low weight as aluminum, a little bit less prestigious, but then again, a muscle car isn't. I mean, it's somewhat about prestige, but it's not the main focus. Let's make it aluminum then. Sure. We've done the looks. Obviously, we want this thing to be rear drive. And wait, let me name this thing. This is the 2015 AMW Vulture. Wait, there's the E missing. And this is the well, we're gonna name that later. As far as engines go, like, obviously you want a V8 in there. As far as materials go, you can go for, I mean, if it's supposed to be really cheap, you can even go for cast iron, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would go for aluminum, because aluminum is like a lot lighter than cast iron, but also not as expensive as aluminum, silicone, or magnesium. Engine size. Well, you want this engine to be big because you get extra score for the muscle category depending on your engine size. So that is something you need to consider. So we'll make this like a 7 liter, I think. 6.9 liter. There we go. 104 times 103 is exactly 7 liters. And now head type. Of course, you get the most power and efficiency out of a dual overhead cam. However, modern OHV, I mean, muscle cars just traditionally run with push rods, most of them at least, like the Camaros, Chargers, everything. Basically everything except for the newer Mustangs, I think they have dual overhead cams with 4 bars per cylinder. But other than that, most of them are still rocking push rods, and they just give the traditional sound. But you can go for modern push rods because newer materials make for better outputs. We're gonna be making a good amount of torque, so I recommend at least forged steel crank. And the rev limit doesn't have to be that high. We definitely don't need I-beam titanium conrods, unless you really wanna make this engine rev really high and get amazing power out of it. But other than that, I-beam steel and forged is totally fine in most cases. Cane profile is gonna be nice and low because we want the torque in the lower RPMs. You can fit a VVT. I would actually recommend it. We're gonna keep it naturally aspirated. And as far as injection goes, obviously like a direct injection because nobody uses multi-points anymore. Let's go with a performance intake and then some premium fuel. Fuel mixture, I recommend between 14 and 12.5 depending on what model range you're aiming for. Like whether you're aiming for the base Camaro or the Camaro SS or the Camaro ZL1 or yada yada yada. You know, I'm just using the Camaro as an example for what kind of what power output you're trying to make. So the RPM limit, since this is a 7-liter with modern push-rods, it's gonna be about 6,200, something like that. AMW is partnered with Remus, so we are going to fit some exhausters with +3 quality. 475 horsepower is definitely a good first number, I would say. We're also making the peak power before the red line. We can go a little bit higher on the rev limit to have a little bit more overrun and make the power more usable. We can still up the compression just a little bit. 479 horsepower. This is actually decreasing the power output. Let's keep it at 79. Let's keep it at what is it? 79 here. One more compression duration. No. 483, 484, 475. Let's keep it here. 475. It's a good number. Actually, this is a restricting airflow. No, let's get it higher again. Anyway, 483 should be totally fine as well. 488 is a little bit too high up on the RPM range. 483, 483. Yeah, okay. Let's just keep it here. The number doesn't really matter. We don't need 500 horsepower necessarily. Also, a muscle car is not about economy, but I don't think you need me to tell you that. Manual, because it makes for the best sportiness, but you can also go for a sequential gearbox if you're aiming towards like a high-end car, something that competes with Camaro ZL1 and Challenger Hellcat and whatnot. The gearing, I would recommend to gear a second gear to 100 kilometers an hour. Like obviously, if you fancy 7-speed manuals, you can go with those as well. I would. Now here's the thing. Muscle cars gain bonus points for fast quarter-mile time, like quarter-mile times. The automatic locker is really good for that, but I wouldn't recommend driving an automatic locker every day. And muscle cars can usually also be driven every day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with a viscous LSD as well, knowing that it'll probably make it a little bit slower over the quarter mile, but it'll increase drivability and just everyday usability. We're gonna go with sports tires. As I said, it's mostly about sportiness in this thing, and we're gonna give this some nice big rubbers, a lot of rim. Probably 245s up front, and then I'm gonna go with 265s rear for now, because we do want a very sporty handling graph, steering behavior graph, whatever you may call it. Alloy rims, 5 spokes, obviously, just the classic for a muscle car. Vented discs. You can also go with 6 pistons. I'm actually probably going to go with 6 pistons. And then 4 pistons on the rear. Oh, aerodynamics. Probably a fully clad under tray is the best here. We don't need that much downforce, so we'll adjust this a little bit later. Cooling airflow is going to be a little bit higher. Muscle cars usually have very reliable engines, and to ensure that we have more than enough cooling airflow here. Seats 4 or 5 I would suggest, unless it's a stripped out track day muscle car, in which case you can only have 2. You can also only have 2, I should say. Interior is basically irrelevant, depending, like, that depends on what you want your car to be. Should it be a little bit more sporty, then you go for standard or sport. Should it be more luxurious, go for premium or luxury. Doesn't really matter. We'll go for standard here and standard entertainment. Now here's the thing, launch control doesn't really do much to the stats in this game, and I find launch controls with manual gearboxes a little bit weird, and therefore I'm not gonna give this car a launch control because it's manual. But you can, of course, if you go with an automatic or a double clutch gearbox, you can obviously go for a launch control option. Now active sport springs and semi-active dampers make for the best sportiness, and then we go for a sporty suspension setup here as well. Increase the ride height a little bit. And muscle premium is where we're at. Where is the classic muscle? There it is. So we need, wait a minute, 51, 59.7. What do we need? We need probably a little bit more safety, power capacity, practicality is also an issue. Okay. Well, what if we go for this? 65.6. What about 82.8? That decreased our competitiveness, I think. No, it increased it, but it decreased the affordability. Muscle premium, though. I think we want to go with just standard muscle car, though. The problem is that the price will. Actually, the price is not bad at all. 34,000. Wait. Power capacity, prestige. Prestige is a big issue, actually. So you know what? Let's go back here and make it from aluminum instead. That made it more competitive here. And slightly less expensive for some reason. 89.5 competitiveness. But the price is too high, really? 33,800? Is it really supposed to be that cheap? Like at this price, it's a little bit strange talking about the premium car, premium muscle car. But in any case, it does very well here. It does very well in that regard. 98.4. Can we increase anything else? We can definitely increase sportiness. Yep, we can. Now we're gonna increase the front camber. That just added some sportiness. Okay. So we are at 99.1 competitiveness, which is awesome. We can probably... Wait, is the quarter mile time not an issue? Yes, it is, 10.0%. Now what's our quarter mile time? 12.9 according to game. It's not bad at all, but you could do a little bit better, especially if we go probably for an automatic locker. Yeah, look at that. 99.5 now. 12.3, 12.5 according to the game. Well, what did we lose? We lost a little bit of drivability. We lost a little bit of prestige, but we gained sportiness and comfort for some reason. What if we go for an electric LSD? That made it less competitive in the muscle premium category because it adds a lot of costs. So you know what? Let's stick with the automatic locker. As far as top speed goes, we can now change the gearing. There we go. 12.4 now even. Yeah. This is just a really competitive muscle premium car. A premium rear-wheel drive, hooligan and straight line performance, big engine and lots of power. This isn't all that premium though. Like standard interior, standard entertainment, it's not bad. Standard safety, but at the same time, like, oh, if I go with premium interior, it'll not hurt our drivability or sportiness by very much, but it'll increase our score here even further. This decreases it a little bit. How about that? Advanced safety. This is so competitive here. Then again, if we go to the market tab here and we increase this to a reasonable amount where we make a good profit, to say like this, 40,000, we lost in competitiveness and in affordability, and I don't really want that. Let's stick with the standard safety and increase the price just a little bit. Actually, let's go with the 40,000 here. So this is 102.2 competitiveness, 86.5% affordability, and it's, well, it's probably going to be more expensive than the Mustang GT, but it also has more power and more torque, and it's faster over the quarter mile, and it's probably better equipped. It's got a better top speed. You know, just overall, you pay more, you get more. So this is how I would suggest you tune a muscle car. You can obviously do it a little bit differently, but our score indicates that we did reasonably well, I would say. It's also good for the family sport premium category. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.